Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're in the mood for some bipedal action as the Viper, playing as the yellow Goths, prepares to take on Villese, playing as the blue Malians. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now the Goths are a quintessential infantry civilization, as single-minded as possible in their worship of one structure and one structure alone. I am, of course, talking about the barracks. These structures start out the game working 20% faster, but can be upgraded to work a massive 200% faster, which is great because the Goths do get 10 extra population space in Imperial, capping out at 210 compared to the usual 200. Now, all Goth infantry get progressively cheaper until Imperial, where they come at a massive 35% discount, and all Goth infantry get a progressive attack boost against buildings all the way up to +3, which makes them incredibly good at taking down structures like castles, town centers, and anything and everything in between. Now, the Goth barracks itself can also be upgraded to train the unique unit of the Goths. I am, of course, talking about the Huskarl. This is a pretty decent overall infantry unit, but one that comes with a special Liam Neeson-style skill, and that skill is absolutely wrecking archer units. The Huskarls come with a big attack bonus against archers and base pierce armor that basically makes them immune from most archer fire in the game. Now, to support a big, hungry population, Gothic hunters are stronger, they do carry more, and Loom is researched in almost under a second, making Goth villagers harder to raid from the very initial stages of the game. Now, opposing our yellow Goth, we have Villese, playing as the blue Malians, also a civilization that's classified as quote-unquote infantry, but I don't really think that tells the full true nature and potential of this civilization. To start with, yes, units produced in Malian barracks do get extra pierce armor for free starting in Feudal. They also can rely on their only unique unit, which is an infantry unit as well. I'm talking about the Geppetto. This is a quick unit with a strong ranged melee attack, but terrible HP and zero base armor of any kind. Now, beyond their infantry, the Malians can also upgrade their cavalry to get a massive +5 attack boost across the board, which is amazing for them because, remember, they don't get hussars and paladins, but with this upgrade, their cavaliers actually do have a higher attack than paladins, and their light cav and camel riders are some of the strongest in the game. Now, if instead you decide to go the archer route, know that you'll have plenty of wood, since all Malian buildings except for farms do cost 15% less wood. Now, in order for the Malians to build their military as fast as possible, their gold mines last 30% longer, their universities work 80% faster, and their villagers are actually harder to raid because these guys, the town centers, can be upgraded to fire 5 arrows when not garrisoned and 15 arrows when fully garrisoned, compared to the usual 10 when fully garrisoned. So potentially a nice big bipedal battle here between the players and their infantry, although again the Malians, calling them just a pure infantry civ, not exactly the full story. Let's take a look at the bases, see how the players have spawned, whether one is at a particular advantage or disadvantage over the other. Let's zoom out and watch. Villese, completely open to the south, the west part facing his opponent, easy to wall off. The north, the east, also easy to wall off. Primary gold a little bit exposed in a forward position, but again, like I said, 2 nice forests can be walled off with a nice palisade in between them. Primary stone off campus, very much in the forward position. The Viper, I'm going to zoom out. Amazing spawn for the Viper. Easy to wall off every single one of these empty spaces between the forests, and that is exactly what he is doing immediately. Primary gold nice and secure in the back. Primary stone very far off campus, very much in the forward position. We'll see if he uses these resources as part of his wall off. That is no doubt going to incorporate this one barracks that he's already building. So most of the time in Age of Empires, at least the games that I've casted, and when we've reviewed the bases, one particular player doesn't have that big of an advantage over the other. In this game, I think the Viper has a pretty damn big advantage, not only because, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quick wall offs, and he's got himself a nice chunk of land where he can build whatever the hell he wants. Of course, the Goths building whatever the hell they want is usually a barracks. Primary gold in the back. Opposing that, take a look at this base, completely open to the south. Gold very exposed with a hill nearby that can be taken by the enemy to rain down hell upon any gold miners that are silly enough to try to mine gold here. So very much an advantage to the Viper, who it will be hitting Feudal second, but literally 3 seconds behind his opponent, already making an issue of it in the center of the map with no fewer than 4 militias. His scout has to run away, though. It is incredibly weak. Does lose a militia for his trouble, but gets 2 of his opponents. Should get a third. We'll see if he loses his third. Yeah. Okay. So 3 militias in exchange for 2. Not a bad trade at all here. What is he building behind this? An archery range. So yeah, making use of the stone as part of the wall off. Not a bad idea. Remember, this resource can't really be cut through like a forest, making it a very, very good use, or making it a very, very good part of any natural wall off. Okay, Villese walling off the front of his base here. Both players, as I mentioned, in Feudal, very much identical timing. Both players getting economic upgrades, going up to basically the same villager count. Villese trying to create a funnel here where the Viper will have to engage into a town center if he wants to explore any further. Although it is a little bit open here. Villagers are exposed in my favorite berry bushes here. This fruit bush with the lemons and the pretty blue butterflies. The Viper moving in. Villese, though, moved in with his scout. Loses the scout. Uncharacteristic loss. And the Viper is trying to make his way in here, but a preemptive tiny little wall off. Not too sure what the point of this palisade is. Let's see. Yeah, not too sure what that is, but okay, this one needs to, okay, this one, okay. I was so short-sighted. He knew that his berry patch was about to run out. Created a preemptive wall off here. I was confused because of that lemon bush, but no, Villese 2 steps ahead of even me. Unfortunately for him, the Viper looked like he was 1 step ahead of him, already had his militia there in position, and in move 2 archers from our Malian, but 2 archers from our Goth meeting him head on. These guys are building the exact same army composition so far. And so far, kill count, very, very similar. Villese has to retreat here. The Viper here with 2 extra kills. Although with these 2 weak men-at-arms, we'll see how long the kill count is identical. Now the kill count is double, 3-0. Neither player getting any economic damage done whatsoever. And while they've disengaged, Viper loses his super weak militiaman. Moving at a 0.9, Archer moving at a 0.96, so should be able to catch up to him. Maybe not. Paths him south. And now the Viper is moving forward with archers to intercept. Villese will see that and probably run away, although might be able to get this militia. No, I said you're going to run away. He stands and fight instead, does take the high ground, but numerically the Viper here outnumbers him. Also, there's a skirmisher which counters these guys, plus more reinforcements streaming in for both players, having a little bit of a low friction battle here in the center of the map. Let's take this opportunity to explore their actual bases. The Viper has walled himself off almost completely. Looks like he's going to take a horizontal approach here, not the vertical or diagonal that I thought he would. Archery range and blacksmith up for him. More and more units continuing to die in the center of the map, but again, low friction battles here in, let's call it early to mid feudal. Not exactly determinative. We've got a very random stork flying overhead, about to deliver a few babies to Villese's base. Look at him gliding on the air currents. No need to pump those long, strong wings. Villese, for his part, he's got up a stable and a blacksmith and an archery range and a gate. To the north, he has left himself completely open. Like I mentioned, a funnel. To the east, also completely open, but doesn't look like the Viper is going to be able to walk that far, since he is being engaged here in the center of the map. 4 archers, 2 spearmen, a skirmisher, and an archer reinforce are taking on Villese's army, which is on the high ground. Villese has to be careful, though. Two of his, or rather three of his archers are below 50% health. Beautiful use of the scouts here to get a few pokes and prods off at the skirmisher before the spearman can come. Beautiful micro, and now the spearman way out of position for the Viper. And now Villese with the army supply, rather the army lead here in the center. 5 archers, 2 scouts, taking out 3 archers, 2 spearmen. Although, oh no, the Viper's backed off into a corner. Villese needs to run away with the scouts. Once the archers are done, the spearmen are done as well. The Viper knows that. Villese knows that. Not sure why he decided to engage here. Oh no! Absolute terrible decision here by Villese, unless it was his goal to just throw away these units. I don't think that was his goal. I don't think that's ever any player's goal unless you're supply capped, and he is very, very far from being supply capped. What is the Viper building? More and more stables. So, of course, when I say the players worship the barracks, the Goths worship the barracks and will probably just build barracks. He builds an archery range, 2 stables. We'll see how long that lasts and how long the game goes. The Viper is heading up to Castle Villese, not far behind, just needs 200 more food. But off the back of 20 villagers, should be fairly easy for him to accomplish in the next minute or so. Might even decide to buy a few resources, although, yeah, it looks like he's got the resources now. Food has been dropped off everywhere. And now he's up to castle as well. Basically, though, a minute and a half behind his opponent. Viper deciding to go bloodlines and scale barding armor. These 2 stables were not just for show. They are going to start pumping out, I'm assuming, knights once he reaches castle. Army supply at 1. Villese circling like a hungry shark around the periphery of the Viper's base. But these are basic feudal archers. Even though they have 12 kills, I don't think they'll even be able to reach these villagers, although they definitely see them. How sour is that? Imagine you're a shark, you're hungry, you're circling, you smell blood in the water, you see a nice villager floundering in the water, and then you absolutely can't eat him because there's a bunch of trees in the way. That it must be very frustrating. Viper with a nice yellow dot exploring more and more of the map. Take a look at how much he's actually seen. Has seen 1, 2, 3 relics. Has he seen no, never mind, 4 relics. Has also seen this one. Has not seen the one ironically right next to his base. Villese for his part has seen the furthest one and the 2 middle relics here in the center of the map. Also hilariously has not seen the relic that's right next to his base. Viper, as I thought, building knights. Second town center up for him. Villese 30 seconds away, needs to hold on. But a not terrible wall off for him. Starting to build a wall off here to the north as well. Oh no, does discover the knights, though. Does cost him the life of 1 archer. And these archers have to run away. There's nothing they can do against these knights. 1 knight could demolish them. Take a look at their HP. 52 HP. Villese with a last-minute Viper gate, although the enemy is inside the gates, needs to poke it at beautiful, beautiful play here by Villese, clicking on that scout and seeing that it basically had 1 poke away, 1 poke left in it, and now he's building camels. And what are the upgrades on these? Absolutely terrible. Just 1 defensive armor upgrade, a 3rd town center going up for the Viper. The Viper is going to start booming like mad here. 3 town center. Villese just now getting up his 2nd, putting more and more pressure. Wood supplies being used by Villese, who by no means has a lot of wood to defend this palisade gate. But now camels are out. These knights have to be very, very careful. What are the upgrades on them? Also terrible. 0+1 versus 0+1. 4 knights circling the south, making themselves known. Villese, no doubt, sees everything, wonders where is the next attack going to come from, and in move the crossbows. Okay, 2, 3, 2.5. We'll call it 2.5 volleys. Town center going up for Villese as well, so he's going to catch up. But look at the villager count already. Viper hitting 3 town centers first is now 8 villagers ahead. Sanctity being researched. Where are his 2 monks? There they are, and let's take a look at their HP the second that upgrade finishes, that technology finishes. Are they all just a blanket called technologies, or are there some researches called upgrades as well? I like to call them upgrades, right? Not all of them can be technologies. Although I think on Liquipedia, I think they are actually all just called technologies for ease of reference. Viper here with a big amount of big show of force out of these 9 knights. Has a Scorpion as well. Where are you? You are very exposed and alone, trying to shoo away the ranged units of his opponents. These camels taking some damage. Viper Monk. Relic count 0 to 0. Although somebody's gotten him a relic, because I don't see the 5th dot out on the map. We'll see in a second whose relic count jumps to a massive 1. In the meantime, army supply very much in favor of Villese, but he's falling further and further behind on the villager count, trying to catch up. 59 after this production to the 70 of the Viper. The Viper slowly starting to very much outpace his opponent, and while the cracks aren't showing right now, who knows? Like I say, to quote myself, as every narcissist egomaniac does, Age of Empires is a game of snowballing. Small little mistakes or small little advantages can be amplified throughout. So when you're down 11 villagers at the 27-minute mark of the game, if this game goes to an hour and 5 minutes, even 50, 60, 55 minutes, Monk drops the relic so he can join in on the fight. Beautiful move here by the Viper. Small little things like being down now 12 villagers can amplify how your opponent just has the economy to overwhelm you. For now, though, Villese does not feel that pain. He is sitting at 16 army supply to 11. His crossbows are taking out knights. His camels are taking out knights. His knights are taking out knights. And now the siege for the Viper is done. He is being dropped to sub 10 military supply. Villese, though, has to be careful. Might want to heal some of this army up. Its HP is absolutely terrible. But the Viper's is even worse. Look at the yellow health bars you see in front of you. Okay, Villese manages to catch a Monk. Beautiful amount of gold being wasted here by the Viper, and beautiful snipe by Villese. Now the army supplies have been reset 2 to 6. The problem is now he's still 12 villagers behind. He's thiefing a relic. He's thiefing a relic right from underneath the nose of the Viper. The Viper trying to wall him in with that good old-fashioned Viper wall. The Viper gate, the Monk carrying the relic moves away. There's 68 HP on this. Use your Mangonel. Mangonel coming under attack, though. Monk. Oh no, entering the town center. Fire range. Oh, Villese, either not paying attention or microing over here, did not notice that his Monk got Viper gated yet again. There's a reason I call it the Viper Gate, because the Viper just absolutely knows how to use it to an immensely powerful way. In an immensely powerful way. 16 villagers on stone? Very interesting. Okay, take a look at the top left of our screen. The Viper is about to make a tech switch into infantry. It seems like Squire's armor handcard, not really an infantry upgrade, but will be able to boost his already huge economic lead. Although now he's only down to 10 villager lead. Players have disengaged. Let's take a look at the bases. I'm a little bit concerned here for the Viper, just because, again, the Malians, classifying them as an infantry civ, a little bit misleading. They do have that amazing upgrade for Rimba, which adds +5 attack to all of their cavalry. Extra town center going up for Villese, castle going up for the Viper. I wonder if Villese is misreading this. Anarchy? One of my favorite named upgrades in the entire game. Anarchy. How awesome is that? These barracks, these being this barrack, although now building more, is going to be able to produce Huskarls at will. And now I was worried for the Viper. His villager lead is narrowing. His army supply is a quarter that of his opponent. His opponent, though, Villese, supply blocked at 110. Building a few houses. Another town center will help. Where's Villese's castle? Let's take a look at his military infrastructure. I'm going to zoom out. Apologies to anyone on a smaller screen, as always. 3 archery ranges. Not what you want against the frickin' Goths. A barrack, a stable, and 3 archery ranges. And a whole bunch of static defense. Which, against a unit like the Huskarl, already 13 of them out. Take a look at the very, very basic Huskarl. Base of 6. Once they go elite, that jumps to 8 which gives them 10 pierce armor. So static defense, definitely not the way to go. And remember, they do get a big old attack boost against buildings. 4, I believe, jumps to 6 in the elite version. And now the Huskarls have made themselves known. These crossbows are basically dead. The knights have to run away, otherwise they are going to get swarmed, even though technically they are the better unit. +1/+1 attack upgrades on them. +2/+2 for the Viper, though. But take a look, HP 60 compared to what should be 120. Yeah, so double the HP, only down +1/+1. But numbers-wise, these Goths are just gonna, these Huskarls are just gonna swarm. An emergency castle being built here in the top left of Villese's base. But now take a look at the Viper's military supply, 31-16. Villese misread this entirely, building 4 barracks at a time. Needs to get Farimba yesterday. Let's see if he absolutely has the ability to get it. Looks like he's trying to get up to Imperial. Will click up first. Knowing that your opponent is going Huskarls does give you a bit of time, especially when the Viper isn't pushing in. Let's see what happens here. Camel's not going to do the job here, I don't think. Gonna need heavier cavalry than that. Good use of numbers advantage. Clears up this little band of Huskarls, but another little band to the north. And now the Viper is probably going to start doing what the Viper loves doing, which is sending clumps of units this way, that way, up, down, left, and right, to try to absolutely pull apart his opponent. Although 9 knights, not bad. Getting infantry upgrades? Scale mail armor? Not too sure what that's for. I mean, he's got 3 Gebettos on the field. Not sure that's the right unit either. I mean, its attack is melee, remember, so it does do 12 damage, which is basically right now the same as these Huskarls. But take a look at their absolute terrible HP. I think it's at 34. Where are they? 35 HP. Absolutely terrible. Plus, they miss a lot. Oh, and here come the number advantage for the Viper. His forces to the north have been cleared up by a combo of monks and knights, getting himself 2 free Huskarls for the trouble. But now the Huskarls are in. Like I said, static defense is not going to do anything. Oh, if this castle gets up, it's going to be bad news bears for Villese, who is going to hit Imperial first. A massive, almost 2 minutes ahead of his opponent. Why is he getting squires? Why the hell is he getting squires with 4 Gebettos and 2 converted Huskarls? He needs to recognize what's about to hit him. He sees it placed right next to the barracks. Needs to push out. What is he building here? A university right now. Okay, mining okay. Being left alone. Viper tiefing the last relic. We'll give him a 4-1 relic lead. Villese needs to come up with numbers right now. This is the only thing that's going to save him. The Viper is about to swarm him. 31 army supply to 12. 138 villagers to 113. This is what I'm talking about, the snowball effect. The Viper preemptively walling himself off. The quintessential defensive player here, planning for the worst. Now he's going to start tiefing this stone as well. Oh no. Villese's in trouble. His army supply is 7. He's got the better unit in the knight, but yeah, because the Huskarl has absolutely no attack bonus against a knight. I mean, not that the knight has an attack bonus against the Huskarl as well, but 120 HP to 60. Oh, wow. Wow. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. The quintessential snowball game where the Viper just slowly, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% more economy, more structures than his opponent for some bizarre reason. Oh, look at that. Farimba just finished researching right when he gets knocked down to 3 knights. Villese has a lot of gold, a good amount of food, but I really wonder why the hell he quit. He didn't know that the Viper was 9 seconds away from Imperial. I thought maybe when I didn't want to say it, but I thought maybe when the Viper hit Imperial, then we would have seen some kind of GG, but 5 stables is a good amount to be able to pump out knights here. And with Farimba, now take a look at the knights attack. Where are they, by the way? Look at it jump to 10 plus 7, 17 attack. And I think I keep saying Goth instead of Huskarl. The Huskarl base melee is 0, right? So it's literally 15 damage for every swipe of that sword. 4 swipes, 4 knights will one-shot a Huskarl, whereas the Huskarl with the 12 attack, the knight has 3 melee armor, so that's 9 damage per shot. 90, 30, what is that? 13 strikes of the sword to kill a knight. So 4 versus 13. I'm a little surprised that Villese resigned here. I'm not going to lie. I mean, if he had our view, then I'm less surprised, because he would see 3 barracks being built here, 3 barracks being built here. How many barracks at home now that he's added more production? 9 barracks. Remember, once the Viper hits Imperial, he can research Perfusion, which basically makes each one of these barracks work 219% faster. So I'm going to zoom out on the map. The Viper is going to have 15 barracks. With Perfusion, that is the equivalent to 45 and more, because it's not 200% quicker, it's 220, 219% faster. So basically 45 plus barracks of output from 15 barracks. That is the insanity of the Goth production. So he would have absolutely swarmed his opponent. But again, I am surprised Villese resigned here. I mean, he's being raided here. He's going to lose his Treb. Why is that Treb on its own undefended? Build it, produce it immediately in your castle. Garrison it immediately in your castle. But this castle here from the Viper being very annoying, not quite managing to get the gold mining here, but any villager trying to mine this from the other side or from the side will definitely get sniped. An interesting game here, and I think a very good example of the snowball effect that I was talking about in Age of Empires, where again, the Viper got up to 3 town centers quicker, slowly took a lead, 5 villager lead, 8 villager lead, 12 villager lead, and now take a look, 30 villager, about 29 villager lead, which allows him to go bonko on the army supply, 39 to 6, swarms over the left side of Villese's base, inserts a big old castle to the center of the base. And I think if this was any other civilization, Villese would have been okay to keep fighting. But again, because the Goths are just so, again, I said Goths instead of Huskarl. The Huskarls have that insane pierce armor. Static defense is just not that good against them. Plus, again, the attack bonus is going to be a +6 once he makes them elite. And looks like the Viper's got plenty of resources to do just that. My goodness, an example of snowball. Let's take a look at the 102. Remember, like 5 minutes ago, he had no Huskarls at all. And then built the infrastructure. Villese didn't put on enough pressure and underestimated the snowball effect. So 102 Huskarls, only 32 crossbows, APM higher for the Viper at the, I guess, the earlier stages of the game. Kill count identical, but the Viper has killed 25 villagers to the 2 of his opponent. Relic gold, not really playing that huge of a difference, 800, although take a look at the top. This is what I'm talking about. And you see, I mean, I by the way, I absolutely do not like this map, but take a look here. I look at my mouse underneath the numbers. See how they're close? And see how slowly the Viper, the difference between the yellow line and the blue lines are growing. Here, there's a huge difference between these lines. And then take a look at the how it expands. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a visual representation of the snowball effect. The difference between the light blue and light yellow and the dotted blue and the dotted yellow just keeps growing and growing until, take a look at the Viper here. Just it compounds. Everything compounds. Economy, military as well. They start out fairly close. A little bit of a gap between them. A huge gap between them for blue. And then boom, the Viper just explodes here. Blue collapses, gets Farimba way too, unfortunately, way too late. Although it did just hit Imperial, so, can't really fault him that much. But look at the difference. Absolutely crazy. 105 kills like we saw to 107. Any converts? Yeah, we saw a few converts. I'm surprised the Viper got more. I thought Villese got some of those Huskarls. But the center has been breached. The left side has been breached. Of course, it's a pro game, so there is absolutely no murder holes, meaning these Huskarls can close the gap and wreck this castle very quickly, especially with 7 more on the production tab, 43 overall. That's not all that's going to hit Villese's base. 180 population supply to 120. And the game that was so super close 10-15 minutes ago just exploded. That power of the Goth barracks, that power of the Viper's macro of his economy. Absolute fantastic gameplay out of the Viper. Villese putting up as much of defense as possible. I think getting the right army composition a little bit too late. The crossbows were a nice idea when the Viper had his archer units, but I'm very confused as to why he built or why he researched the infantry defensive armor upgrade, maybe for the 2 Gebettos that he had, who are now hiding in a town center, scared, watching these Huskarls basically advance on everything and being surrounded. Oh man, what a beautiful game. What a fun defense here by Villese. He did a fantastic job, but ultimately too little too late. Ferimba just finished right when he lost a lot of his knights. I think the Viper knew that he was going to get Ferimba, so he put on the pressure at the exact perfect moment, using that snowball effect of villagers. Remember, it was 8 at one point. Now it's 29. And a very good example of what the hell I was talking about earlier. Villese tried his best, could not stop the Gothic tide. The Viper takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.